There we go. That's the quality. That's the quality we like around here. So the quality we like around here. Oh, a little bit of the quality, right? Cadbury bread, he fake. I had one more book on my plate. It was me and bro. We was in the store. We both ate 50-cent cake. You know what I'm saying? Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Before I want to get into the MLB stuff, I do want to talk about let's talk about the day real quick. Let's talk about the day real quick, bro. Bro, I got cooked. Bro, today. Bro, today I fucking went. I got home from training, bro. Bro, I had to take a fucking nap. I had to take a nap before I even took a shower, bro. Like, I was like, damn, bro, I was fucking tired. Bro, so let's paint the scenario, right? So, like, I really be having my hands down a whole lot, right? I got a couple bad habits, right? Um, I really be having, like, my hands down, right? Because I'm so far away. I be having my hands down, right? So, all right, homeboy, right? Sparring, right? Those starts with a jab, right? Jab, right? So jab, right? Doesn't touch me, right? Jab doesn't touch me, right? Two, I blocked the two, right? The jab don't really touch me. I kind of slip it. It wasn't gonna touch me out of the way. But the two I blocked. I blocked the two, right? I blocked the two, and then high kick, right? So I blocked the two, guard already there for the high kick, right? So 1-2 high kick, right? It's a common combination, right? It's a common combination. Just sometimes that the high kick be coming fast. Sometimes you're not ready, right? You're not ready for the high kick, right? But also we blocked the high kick, right? We blocked the high kick, right? This motherfucker right here, I blocked the high kick, right? Leg comes down, right? I don't move back, right? I don't move back because I'm thinking you just throw the high kick, right? You're done. You're done. It's my turn now. It's my turn, right? It's my turn now, right? This motherfucker, as soon as leg touches the ground, bah, fucking back fist. I was like, ora. We back fisting the little guy. We doing a spinning back fist to the little guy, man. Ora. Kind of mid. Ooh. Kind of mid, but voice killer. You know what I'm saying? Voice killer, right? Yeah, it was a little bit, right? A little bit. Got hit with a spinning back fist, right? Wasn't fucking expecting this, right? There was a head kick followed by a fucking spinning back fist, right? Yeah. What an asshole. What a fucking dickhead. Nah, it's all cool though. Like me and bro is all cool. Yeah. So usually I want to go live 2-3 in the afternoon, right? And these days, right, more than likely going to be leaning towards like the 3-4ish mark, right? On like the Tuesdays and the Thursdays, right? Leaning towards the 2ish and the 4ish mark. I do want to hype up a Thursday stream, or let's talk about what we have planned for the week, right? Thursday opening day, right? Thursday opening day. Sweet 16 starts on Thursday too, so we're gonna be doing killer fucking day on Thursday, right? Killer fucking day. Yeah, so that's a killer day on Thursday, right? And then tomorrow, it's kind of like the last day of like this little like I guess you would say like a little bit of a dead period, right? Just the NBA, right? Ain't nothing wrong with the NBA, right? But just the NBA is kind of crazy. Let me get the stream on the song right there. Yeah, tomorrow it's just Yankee and O's, right? Just Yankee and O's tomorrow. O's, Giants. Yankee and Giants. Black and orange team. Same shit. I thought about it for 2 seconds on the cover, on the thumbnail. I thought about it for like 2 seconds. Like, ooh, I need a baseball thumbnail. I need a baseball thumbnail. 2 seconds it took me to get that Altuve picture. 2 seconds it took me to get that Altuve picture. Head at face ass, face ass. Nah, love Jose though. Love Jose. Love Jose. Love Jose. Yeah. Little bit of a grimy tangy. All right. Okay. So enough for the chatting, enough for the bullshit, right? Ultimately, this is gonna be a short stream, right? We're just trying to get our shit, trying to get our spots in, right? Trying to get our shit in, and dip out, right? Tomorrow, gonna be normal time stream, right? Gonna be normal time stream. Gonna be regular length stream, right? Gonna be a regular length stream. I'm gonna try to get over an hour. Gonna try to make it over an hour. Well, no, we are probably gonna go over an hour, but yeah, probably just gonna be over an hour. Probably just gonna be over an hour, most likely. Yeah, let's just get straight into the MLB. Let's get straight into the MLB's opening days, right? We can talk about tomorrow's game, right? Tomorrow's game, the Yankees, the Giants. I didn't forgot to mention this. I will be doing play-by-play. Right? I will be doing play-by-play, right? This will be a Yankee hate watch. Yankee hate watch is what it is, right? Is what it is. You see the fucking A on the head, right? You see the A on the head, right? It's not for asshole, it's for Astro. You feel me? Yeah. Yankee hate watch. So tomorrow, right? Yankee Giants, right? At San Francisco. We got the opening day matchup. Max Fried and Logan Webb. Logan Webb coming off of a decent WBC, nothing crazy, right? Just a Patriot, right? Max Fried, not a Patriot, right? Max Fried, not a Patriot, right? Scared little dweeb, right? Scared little dweeb. I mean, I'm talking shit, but Max Fried's that fucking dude, though. He's that fucking dude still. I can hate all I want, right? Can hate all I want. He's cold still, right? Ain't nothing I can do about it, right? Cold, you cold, right? Cold, you cold, right? It pains me to say it, but yeah, Max Fried, that dude, right? So a little bit about the opening day lineups, right? A little bit about the opening day lineups, or at least like projected opening day lineup, right? The Yankees, didn't really. They made moves, right? Rich McMahon, right? They made a couple moves. Ultimately, right? Judge, Belly, Ben Rice, Stanton, Jazz, Austin Wells, right? And then you throw in Richie. They do have one of the better on paper. On paper, they have one of the best better lineups in the league, right? One of the better lineups in the league. I mean, if you spending all this fucking money, right? You spending all this motherfucking money. You better have a fucking killer ass lineup, right? So I'm expecting once we get to the Dodgers and the Mets and the Mets, right? And the Mets, yeah. I mean, we'll see, right? Oh wait, I forgot. Yeah, Goldie's on. Right. So who's there? Ben Rice. Yeah, Ben Rice. Ben Rice, Goldie. Right. We'll see who gets to start on opening day. Right. I'm the Yankees. Right. We're going with the Ben Rice direction. Right. We're going towards the Ben Rice direction. It is what it is. Right. It is what it is. Right? It is what it is. By the way, I do expect it's a hate watch, right? It's a hate watch, but at the same time, I do expect the Yankees to win that game ultimately. As we take a look at the Gigantes, right? The Gigantes, right? Got Devers this past year. They still have Willie Adames, Matt Chapman. Uh, they have Luis Arias, Jung Hoo Lee. Their Japanese player from last year, right? The guy that they signed from last year, and Harrison Bader. Yeah, they have Harrison Bader. Uh, Ultimately, it's actually a pretty good roster, right? Pretty they all stay healthy, right? It's going to be a pretty good roster, right? Um, it's just the only problem with the Giants, right? They're just in the NL West, right? Like the Padres are, they got names, right? The Padres got names. The Dodgers are, the fucking Dodgers. They're +210. They're +210 to win the World Series right fucking now, right? That's absolutely tarded, right? I didn't say the R word. I didn't say the R word, right? I kind of shortened it, right? Shout out to all my down folks, right? Shout out to all my down folks, right? And then yeah, Logan Webb. I do think Yankees get it done tomorrow. However, these should both, at least the Yankees should make the playoffs. The Giants have a roster to do it. Oh, they got a roster to do it, right? They got a roster to do it, right? I forgot to mention the fucking D-backs. Well, the D-backs lost their guy, so yeah. The D-backs kind of lost their guy for a little minute, so yeah, GG's, GG's to the D-backs, right? GG's to the D-backs. Yeah, GG's to the D-backs. Ultimately, two really good teams going at it on opening night. Couldn't ask for more than that, right? We will be doing play-by-play for that. Peak baseball, cinematic baseball, right? Gotta love it, gotta love it. We're gonna be doing play-by-play for opening night. I don't know why I was thinking it was fucking Thursday, right? I was thinking it was Thursday, right? That's why I don't stream late. That's why I don't stream late, because my brain just, I stream late. My brain naturally be fried. My brain just naturally is fried. And yeah. I don't know why my page is glitching like that. All right, okay. So tomorrow's matchup, right? Tomorrow's matchup, we'll go from top to bottom, right? From the first game to the last game, right? There's kind of a little 310, 315 little game spree, right? Where they're just spamming, they're legit just spamming games at that time. But yeah, we'll go by one. We got to start off the day on NBC. We have the Pirates and the Mets, right? They have this on national television. They got the Pirates on national television. Granted, Paul Skeens is going to be on the mound, so it's a little bit different, right? It's not your average Pirates team, right? But it's still the Pirates, right? And that shit stank, don't it? Right? That shit stank, right? Right. Talk about their lineup, right? So they got O'Neal Cruz, right? O'Neal Cruz. They made a couple moves, right? They got O'Neal Cruz, Brandon Reynolds, right? And the moves that they made, right? They got Marcell Ozuna, right? They got Marcell Ozuna, and we're looking at Brandon Lowe, right? Brandon Lowe. I mean, they made some moves, right? They still not going to win there. They're still not going to. They're still. It's not a playoff team, though, right? It's still not a playoff team, but I mean, they could be better than that. They could be better than last year. I mean, shit, it could be better than last year, right? I mean, because the Pirates have had some pretty good stretches, right? Over the last few, since the Paul Skeens era started, right? They've had a couple of like really good stretches, right? O'Neal Cruz he that dude's a stud, right? That dude, he's a stud, right? That dude's a stud, right? He got to get out of Pittsburgh eventually. He got to get out of Pittsburgh eventually, the same way Paul Skeens. Cut your losses at some point. If you can already tell without me even having to talk about the Mets, right? I'm thinking the Mets are going to take that game, right? Well, actually, let's see how much Skeens make it. Let's see how far Skeens make it, right? Because the matchup tomorrow, Skeens, Freddie Peralta, right? Freddie Peralta, fucking killer, right? Killer Freddie Peralta. But this past season, he's had a couple of blow-ups, right? He's had a couple of like blow-ups, and what I mean by blow-ups, I mean by bad. I mean like bad blow-ups. So trying to go. I know on top of my head they got Bo Bichette, right? I fucking love Bo Bichette, but I need to get the full team in, right? Oh, and Simeon, right? Because fuck the Rangers. Fuck the Rangers. See what's going on, right? So we got Lindor, Soto, Bo Bichette, right? We got Bo Bichette, Luis Robert. Oh shit, they got Luis Robert. Was actually one I didn't see really. They got Luis Robert, Marcus Semien, Big Frank, right? Polanco, right? It's a really good team. Freddie Peralta. Let me look at their opening day roster, right? I mean their what their lineup is. Yeah, because they have Nolan. Oh yeah. Oh no, they had him last year too. Yeah. Very good. Very good. Very good starting group, right? Very good starting group. Yeah, that's a very good starting group. Ultimately, it's one of the better. Starting groups in the league, is what it seems like. Yeah, nah. I mean, good lineup, good, right? You can obviously make the assumption that they can win their little division, right? The little weak ass division, right? Nobody really got much. Yeah, nobody really got much better, right? It's just the Marlins got a year older, right? So maybe it's time they make that step, right? The Phillies, man, the Phillies get older as well too, right? The Phillies get older too. Yeah, I can see the Mets. The Phillies are still. I still see Philly as a playoff team this year. I still see a Philly as a playoff team this year. We'll get to them later on, though. But I still see Philly as a playoff team this year. Do I think they're going to compete with the Mets? Who knows, right? Who knows? Because the Mets ultimately can still met it up, right? They can still met that shit up, right? Going on to White Sox and the Brewers, right? We got Shane Smith and Jacob Mizorowski. Yeah, Mizzo's a dog, right? Mizzo's a dog. Shane Smith's a dog. Ultimately, got two really good pitchers going at it, right? Shane Smith, kind of like he's like a diamond in shit. I don't know what the diamond in the rough. That's not really diamond in shit, I guess, right? He's the part of the shit that glistens, if you can say. If you can already tell, I'm leaning very heavily on these Brewers, right? We look at the Brewers lineup, right? Or projected lineup. Chiriot, Terang, Contreras, Yelich, right? A lot of the same guys from last year. Yeah, I mean, we all know that their rotations is what usually their bullpen is what is what keeps them in these games. And they got Jacob Mizorowski on the Jacob. These Jacob Mizorowski starts, like as long as he goes the full way, or like as expected, right? I don't see him losing a whole lot of these games, right? I don't see a whole lot of losing from Jacob ultimately this year, right? Yeah, I don't see a whole lot of losing from Jacob ultimately. So I would like to make an early prediction that indeed, um, I want to say that Jacob Mizorowski could even be an early pick for Cy Young. I feel like that's not crazy to say. An early Cy Young pick. I'm trying to get to the. Oh my goodness! Look at this trash can I'm looking at of the White Sox is lineup. Holy damn! So we got Murakami, right? We got Andrew Benintendi, Austin Hayes, right? Yeah, his lineup didn't get that much better from last year, right? Didn't get that much better from last year, right? I think we can easily say, like last year, the White Sox will be the grand loser, right? They will be the grand losers of this of this year. Yeah, they will be the grand losers. They would be the biggest losers. Hopefully, uh, hopefully they see God, right? Hopefully they see God, right? You heard the stuff going on this past week with Frank Thomas and everything, right? Not a lot of positivity going on in that organization whatsoever, right? So, yeah, right? Yeah, I mean, that's one big pile of shit. That's just one big pile of shit, just say the least, right? So next up, we got the Chicago Cubs. Excuse me. We got the Chicago Cubs and the Washington Nationals, right? The Nats. They made some impressive, right? Like, I didn't really do a good job of explaining, right? So the Nats, they held on, right? They did a good job of holding on to dear life last year, right? They made like I don't know how to say that. They really I think you could say that a lot of people were thinking that this was going to be one of the worst teams, right? And then you had people like James Wood breaking out, Jacob Young, Luis Garcia, right? Like these, a lot of good players to be excited about in the Nats lineup, right? Of course, CJ Abrams being the franchise guy for the Nats. Um, it's hard to say. It's hard to say how competitive they're going to be, especially in that conference, right? Especially in that. Well, yeah, in that conference and in that division, right? Especially in that division, right, with the Phillies, the Mets, and ultimately, I think I'm gonna get into it later, but I'm kind of pretty high on the Marlins this year. I'm kind of pretty high on the Marlins. I do think they're gonna have kind of like what the Nats had last year, where they're pretty heavy in playoff contention until the very end, right? So I'm thinking the Nats are gonna. I mean, the Marlins are gonna overtake what the Nats were doing last year, right? The thing that's getting me about the Nats, it's the bullpen. I mean, it's the starting rotation, right? And it's a starting rotation, right? Yeah. I mean, what more are you gonna say? Jake Irvin's still on the roster, right? Kate Cavallini is gonna be their opening day starter, right? He's a pretty good pitcher, right? Decent pitcher. I should say pretty good, decent pitcher, right? Decent to a very solid pitcher, right? Opening day starter. He's not ideally going to be my opening day starter for a playoff team, but maybe we'll see, right? We'll see, right? Right. Brady House is in the lineup, right? Dylan Cruz, right? Still a little banged up, right? He's going to be back. Should back by May for sure, right? Should be back for sure by May. Probably going to be back by April too, by late to mid-April, honestly. Yeah, but I see a lot of potential with the Nats. I see a lot of potential with the Nats. I think we just need more arms. We just need more arms in the lineup, but ultimately I do see potential. Do they have enough to beat the Cubs? However, fuck no. Fuck a no, right? Cubs opening day starter is gonna be Matthew Boyd, right? Matt Boyd. Matt Boyd, right? Matt Boyd, less than less than optimistic WBC from Matt Boyd. However, Matt Boyd, Patriot, right? Matt Boyd is a Patriot, right? We can't deny it. Even though he did get a little bit banged up, right, for a bit in that Mexico game, right? But he showed up when a lot of people didn't show up, so it's all that really matters, right? Um, the Cubs, right? So the Cubs, to me, the Cubs are gonna take this division, right? Cubs are gonna take this division. The Brewers, they can make it close. They can make it close, right? Lineup's pretty solid for the Brewers, right? They got they always have pretty good arms, right? But ultimately, just how deep is this Cubs team, man? Like how deep is this Cubs team, right? Like you look at the bullpen, right? They got good arms, right? Matt Boyd, Shata, Imananga, Imanaga, 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 Imanaga. Okay, yeah. Shata Imanaga and Jameson Talon, right? Edward Cabrera. Fucking nice. Jameson Talon, your fifth pitcher, right? You're doing something right. You're doing something right on the organization. Their lineup's fucking killer, right? Damsey Swanson, Michael Conforto. And obviously you have like your top of the lineup, Michael Bush, Horner, Ian Happ, Pete Crow, right? Pete Crow, superhero Pete Crow, and Alex Bregman. Alex Bregman hurts me a little bit. But yeah, I do think they can make do think they can go pretty far, right? Suzuki's gonna miss the opening day, but ultimately he's gonna be back, right? And out of everybody we're gonna get into, right? Out of everybody we're gonna get into, right, on the national side, I think the Cubs is gonna be our best shot at dethroning the Dodgers in the national side. I do think the Cubs are gonna be the best shot at dethroning the Nationals, right? If they lose to like the Brewers or some shit, right? Or the Mets, could be looking. Oh, the Mets could still. I do like the Mets competing with the Dodgers too, but I mean the Cubs got just like the right amount of star talent, right? Little bit more than the Mets, right? The Mets have the names, right? The Mets have the names. It's just that Met consistency, right? Just that natural Met consistency, right? Something always happens in the middle of the season, towards the end of the season, right? They go on some sort of cold streak, right? Some sort of cold streak, and who knows, right? And ultimately, that cold streak does whenever they do that, right? That cold streak, it ultimately does take a toll. It do be taking a toll a little bit, right? It do be taking a toll a little bit, right? I do wanna give a shout out to my plate, right? My plate. We Meek Millin it today. We finna Meek Mill it today. We finna Meek Mill it, bro. I was about to do it, right. We finna Meek Mill it today. Finna Meek Mill it today. Look, watch this shit, right? Who I look like? Foul. 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 I'm doing all that, right? I'm doing all that for a piss break, right? For a piss break after I get into this Twins and Orioles matchup, right? The O's made some fucking moves, right? The O's made some moves, right? Twins made a couple moves, right? Twins made a couple moves themselves, right? But however, the O's are out here, right? Them O's were out here. Them O's was really out here. We'll get into the Twins first. We'll get into the Twin side first, right? Twins got Old Buck, right? They got Old Buck, Josh Bell, right? Ryan Jeffers, Austin Martin, couple of decent hitters, right? Couple of decent hitters. James Outman, not going to be in the lineup opening day, right? And James Outman ultimately a big part of their lineup, really good player. And then their lineup did take a little bit of a hit, right? Not their lineup did take a little bit of a hit, and then their rotation took a little bit of a hit. Joe Ryan, Bailey Abor, Simeon Woods Richardson, McAble. Yeah, right. Opening day starter is going to be Joe Ryan. And the O's opening day starter is going to be Mr. Trevor Rogers. The emergence of Trevor Rogers this past season was kind of, I was waiting for it, right? I was a big fan of his when he was with the Marlins, right? Came to the O's, right? A little bit out of the shuffle, right? Came on mid-season and just start pitching, doing spot starts, right? Them spot starts were fucking master classes. From spot starts to opening day starter, this Trevor Rogers story, right? I mean, that's what we live for, right? That's what we live for. Obviously, I do like the O's. Do like the O's in this matchup, right? So we're gonna look into the O's. Not rotation. I know the rotation. Right. So their lineup, right? The usual guys, right? Gunnar Henderson, Aldi, right? Tyler O'Neill. Made some. Krauser made some moves, right? They made some moves, right? Taylor Ward, right? And then the big one, right? They made the move for the polar bear, right? Jackson Holiday not going to be with the team to start. We got MMA news. MMA news. Shit, we'll get into the MMA news in a bit, right? We'll get into the MMA news. So yeah, that lineup, right? That lineup does numbers, right? It moves weight, right? Their rotation, right? We just talked about Trevor Rogers, right? They got Shane Baz on that motherfucker too, right? Chris Bassett. They still have Zach Eflin, right? So they still have a very solid rotation, very good lineup, right? Pretty good lineup to compete with. That division, though, fuck, bro. You're competing with the Yankees. Yankees are gonna be the Yankees, right? The Red Sox got potential this year, right? We'll get to the Red Sox in a bit, right? What about the fucking Blue Jays, right? The fucking Blue Jays are still the fucking Blue Jays, right? They lost pieces, but at the same time, they're still the fucking Blue Jays, right? So they're like the Blue Jays not going to be my World Series pick. However, will they compete for a playoff spot still? Hell yeah. Is the O's competing for the playoff spot too? Hell yeah, they compete for a playoff spot, right? Yeah, the AL is going to be fun. That's all I'm going to say. The AL this baseball season, pay attention to the AL. Cinema. Literally all you can say about the AL, right? Just pure cinema coming out of the AL, right? So yeah, Dodge O's over the Twins, right? Just had to say it, right? O's over the Twins, right? Yeah, we gonna pee real quick. We gonna pee. Yeah, everybody, he fake. I got one more buck on the plate. It's me and bros in them stores. We both ate 58 cakes. Shout out LA Capone, man. Shout out LA Capone. I had that song stuck in my head all day, right? Right. Right. So now we're gonna get into these 3-10 games, right? Now we're gonna get into these 3-10 games. First off, right, let's just get into business, right? Let's just get business cracking, right? We got my Astros going against them. We got my Astros going against these Los Angeles Angels, right? It's a Hunter Brown versus Jose Soriano, my bad. Jose Soriano day. I mean, guilty as charged, right? Guilty as charged of being a biased Astro fan. I do like the Astros winning that opening game. Hunter Brown's a problem. Right? Jose Soriano, he had a pretty good season last year, right? Historically, just not my favorite player, right? Historically, just not my favorite player. What I mean by that is just I'm not too high on it, right? I'm not too high on it. And you look at their lineup, right? They still got Zach Neto, Mike Trout, Jose Soler, and Yohan Moncada, Joe Adele still on the roster, right? Yeah, it's Mike Trout and a bunch of scrubs, right? Just keeping it real with these Angels, right? It's Mike Trout and a bunch of fucking scrubs, right? However, their rotation's kind of decent, right? It's kind of a huge disservice to Mike Trout, right? Because he had some pretty decent lineups, right? Not great lineups back then, right? Some decent lineups in his prime, right? And then now and like just shit rotations. See, just call it what it is, right? Some shit rotations, some shit arms, right? Now the rotations not great, but not terrible though. Not great, but not terrible, right? Still could use like a pitcher or two, right? But I mean, it's not terrible, right? It's not like the fucking White Sox, right? It's like the White Sox or the Nats, right? Like they got like not completely trash. However, Big Daddy Astro, right? We have Altuve, Paredes still. Your daddy, right? We got Jordan Alvarez, Carlos Correa back. Christian Walker, Cam Smith, and Jake Meyer still on the roster, and Yainer Diaz still on the roster. Looking at our rotation, right? We still got McCullers, Javier, right? You know what I'm saying? Big man Hunter Brown, right? Got big man Hunter Brown and a new pitcher, right? New pitcher, Imai, right? Imai. We got our own Japanese pitcher, right? Imai. Um, yeah. I mean, we're still missing Arrighetti, right? We're still missing Arrighetti, right? Um, Jeremy Pena most likely isn't going to be playing opening day, right? Most likely is going to be playing opening day. I do expect him back by April, right? March will pass. April, as soon as April is back, he should be back in the lineup already. Yeah, right, yeah. Jeremy not playing for us, right? Jeremy's going to be a big part of the team though this year. I do like him having a great season, right? However, I do want to announce that Jordan's back, right? I announced it last stream, right? We went on a little tangent last stream about Jordan, right? I do want to say Jordan's back, right? I do want to say Jordan's back. And what I mean by back, I think he's back in top 10, top 3 in MVP conversations, right? I do think that's what Jordan's going to be in this year, right? Angels playoffs isn't a real thing, right? Angels playoffs, it just isn't real. However, so just fuck the Angels. The Astros, however, do I think the Astros can make a playoff spot? And the answer is if we're healthy. Right, if we're healthy. So I'm not too concerned with any teams really in the Central, right? I'm not too concerned with the Central, right? The Central kind of booty cheeks a little bit booty cheeks coming from the Central, right? So I think a lot of the teams that are going to be competing for this is going to be coming out of the West and the East. So that East, all competing, right? You can argue with the Rays, right? The other teams, I mean, it's hard to argue right now. It's hard to argue without saying that, like, oh, like they didn't do it last year, like they weren't close last year, right? Because on paper, there's 4 teams in that AL East that are playoff teams, right? They're playoff teams. And yeah, and if you look at our I just glitched for a little bit. If you look at our division, right, you have us, right? You have the Rangers, and then of course, right, the Mariners. And I mean, the A's didn't have a bad season last year. They didn't have a completely bad season, right? They have some really good players on the roster, right? We'll get to the A's in a minute, but I mean, I like them in a Rays position, right? I like them in the Tampa Bay Rays position, right? except they have the players, right? The Rays, right? They just kind of historically just been competing, right? They just historically compete. So yeah, no, I like the Astros. I like the Astros via BTA. Astros via BTA. Next up, we got oh no, I'll say that one for later. Next up, we got the Red Sox and the Reds. Right, we got the Red Sox and the Reds. This is gonna be a Garrett Crochet and Andrew Abbott opening day matchup. Right, so the Reds. Right, I mean the Reds got some good young players. Right, they got some good, nice young players. Right. Um, and they competed, right? They competed. They were pretty close last year, right? They hung in there for a lot of the year. They still got Ellie, right? Still got Eugenio Suarez, right? TJ Friedel, right? They still got the core group of guys, most of them, right? And then they're excuse me. Damn, that was two big ones, right? Yeah, so the Reds, pretty good lineup, right? Pretty good lineup. Or at least a lot of power in that lineup, right? A lot of power in that Reds lineup, right? Hunter Green not starting out on IR, so oh, somebody say bless you. Somebody say bless you. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Yeah. So I don't like a playoff push out of them this year, right? I don't like a playoff push out of this year. Uh, Too many good teams. There's just too many good teams, and I do think that the Giants made that leap, right? I think they made that leap to cause a little gap between them and the Reds and the D backs, right? Well, the D backs kind of just shot themselves in the foot, not literally, but figuratively. Um, but yeah, the Reds are going to be a fun team, though. Regardless, if you just casually just need a game to go, just need a game to watch, right? Throw on a Reds game, right? They're usually a fun team to watch, right? Unless a good team's playing, unless a good team's playing, right? I'd say watch them, but if not, I'd say catch a Reds game, right? Catch a Reds game. They'll be fun. They'll be fun. And however, right? However, uh, I don't like this opening day matchup for the Reds. Right? I don't like this opening day matchup for the Reds. They're going against a pretty. I mean, you can call them hyped up, right? A pretty hyped up Red Sox team, right? They got a pretty good lineup, right? Rangers Suarez now on the lineup, right? Sonny Gray, Brian Bello, and then we just talked about Garrett Crochet, right? Garrett Crochet, right? And then their lineups looking nice. Their lineup's nice. Like you can't like they still got Trevor Story, they still got Jared Duran, they got Contreras, they got William Abreu, Narvaez. And then the big question mark about this, the big question. Hold up. Hold up. Hold up. Hold up. Wrong side. Wrong side. Yo, my name is Trey Biddy. You're watching Disney Channel. That worked. I need to edit the Disney shit. I need to edit Disney shit right there, turn it to a clip. I'm fucking Disney clip. I'm Disney clip farming, right? I'm clip farming for a clip that isn't gonna be out for like another month. That's fucking nice. So I guarantee you that clip is not gonna be out for like another month, right? I still have like I'm barely even making clips from like the very first couple of streams, right? Like, I gotta rewatch the whole shit, right, and find some good shit, right? Yeah, so the questions are like all regarded around Roman Anthony, right? Is Roman Anthony gonna take that MVP leap, right? Is he gonna be an MVP, right? Is he gonna be an MVP, right? I think he has potential, right? I do think he has the potential. However, right, we got Judge, right? We got Judge, right? I think Jordan's coming back, right? I do think Jordan's gonna come back, right? And I just have a weird feeling about Mike Trout this year. I have a weird ass feeling about Mike Trout. I got a weird feeling about Mike Trout. Honestly, I got a weird feeling about Mike Trout. Vladdy, I mean, always can always say that Vladdy's in the MVP talks. It's hard to say when there's a lot of guys in this AL that could be a from different teams, right? Guys from different teams, right? Not like a fucking NL where like a majority of these guys are coming from the fucking Dodgers or just the NL West. Right? The AL got like legit MVP candidates, right? That's why I'm hyping up the AL, right? The AL this year is gonna be cinema, right? The NL just got too many bad teams, right? They just got too many bad teams. We got a bad, all right, we got a bad we might have a couple of bad teams on a bad conference, right? We got 3 potentially. We got 3 of them potentially in one conference, right? We got 3 of them potentially in one division, right? And yeah. Yeah, I mean, we kind of talked about the Red Sox when we were talking about the whole like Yankee and O situation, right? Like, there's a lot of good teams, right? There's a lot of good teams in that division, a lot of good teams in the AL, right? Are they going to make a playoff spot? I don't know. I don't think so. I really don't think so, honestly. Unless Roman Anthony makes a leap, right? Ultimately, a lot of these teams, right, are going to come down to if their guy makes the leap. So, and I don't know. There's just too many guys. There's just too many guys. Granted, this team's a little bit better, right? Across like the hitting and like the pitching is the rotations got a lot better this year, right? But man, right? Like, we just got to see Roman Anthony in his first season. It's just too risky for me to call it right now. It's just too risky for me to call it, right? I know I'm calling for the Astros, right? But it's too risky for me to call the Red Sox. But the contradicting a little bit. The fandom contradicting. All right, fuck that. All right, fuck that. Let's get into a heavyweight, right? Let's get into a heavyweight swingers, right? Let's get into 2 heavyweights going at it, right? We got these Detroit Tigers. We got these Detroit Tigers going against the San Diego Padres on opening day, right? Whoever on the scheduling department made that an opening day matchup needs a fucking raise, right? They need a raise or a promotion, right? One of the two, right? Fucking killer matchmaking right there, right? You know, Tigers, right? Stole Stole pitcher from us, right? Fuck the Tigers, but I mean it's free game, I guess. Game is game, right? They had a pretty good rotation, and then they added our guy Framber Valdez, and it's looking kind of nasty, right? That rotation's looking kind of nasty, right? Tarek Skubal, Framber Valdez, Jack Flaherty, Casey Mize, and then they got good old Verlander still roaming around, right? Good old Verlander still roaming around, right? But I mean, wait, I got my noties on. Not my noties on, but I got my. Wait, I wouldn't be able to turn my ringer off. Would I be able to turn my ringer off? I can't actually, so fuck. Oh, Wi-Fi went out. That's why. Huh? Wait a second. Wi-Fi went out. Wait. Huh? I'm still live. I'm still live. The Wi-Fi went out. Hey, did we go off? Yo, fuck off. Fuck off. All right, yeah. So, so the Tigers, right? They got a killer rotation, right? Turk Schoolball, of course. Dickhead of the MLB villain, right? Tarek Schoolball on opening day, right? You just had to conserve. You had to conserve his opening day fucking spot, right? Fuck Tarek Schoolball, right? He's about to get booed like shit, right? It's Tarek Schoolball versus Nick Pivetta. I forgot to mention the pitching matchup. It's Nick Pivetta going against Tarek Schoolball. If he wasn't going against Tarek Schoolball, right? If that didn't already make me a fan enough, I was already a huge fucking part of the Nick Pivetta fan club last year, right? I won a lot of bets. Well, I didn't win a lot of bets, right? But I won some bets based on Nick Pivetta, right? So he won me a lot of Padre underdog legs, right? Got to give respect to respect due is with Nick Pivetta, right? As far as teams go, right? As far as teams go, I like the Tigers. I like the Tigers more than the Padres, right? However, for this opening day matchup, right, I just like Nick Pivetta's consistency better than Tarek Schoolball's smugness, right? Tarek Schoolball also had a fucking killer WBC too, right? Got his asshole torn up against Great Britain, right? And couldn't finish the start. Couldn't finish the full start, right? So I didn't even get into the lineup, right? I'm already talking about the game, right? So Gleyber Torres, Riley Green, Spencer Torkelson, Curry Carpenter, Matt Verling. There's a lot of the same Parker Meadows, right? Obviously, there's not going to be any Zach McKinstry or Javi Baez. Oh, I think Javi Baez is Javi Baez is gonna get the start. Because I wrote Kevin McGon because of the whole was it the whole insurance shit with Baez, right? Yeah, I mean, pretty identical lineup from last year, right? Last year they had a very good lineup, right? They had I don't know how many All-Stars, right? Everybody was an All-Star on that team, it seemed like. Yeah, good team, right? Good team. I kind of called the Central kind of a shit division, right? It's mostly just the Twins and the White Sox that I'm shitting on, right? Because the other three are pretty decent. Well, the Tigers are pretty good, right? The Royals and the we'll get to the Royals and the um Guardians, but in a bit. But they're decent teams, right? Tigers, I do think takes that division easily. We got the Padres, right? Another team in this NL West, right? This absolute bloodbath of an NL West, right? Nick Pivetta just talked about is getting the start rights. And if you go through the lineup, right, a lot of good players on that lineup, right? You have Tatis still, right? Uh, Tatis, Machado, right? Cronenworth. They made the move for Castellanos, right? Bogart's still on the team. Murrow's on the team as well, right? Miguel Andujar. Right. Like they got the lineup. They got the lineup. The pitching, they lost Yu Darvish, right? Um, they lost somebody else. They lost somebody else that was a big part of their rotation too, right? I'm drawing a blank. I'm drawing a blank on them, but they Musgrove. Musgrove. That's who it was. Musgrove, right? So they lost Musgrove to Tommy John, right? Um pray for his soul, right? Uh I made it a point to point out that they have Walker Bueller on the team now, right? Walker Bueller on the team, right? I'm ready to see this Dodger game, right? Ready to see this Dodger series already. Right. So they got the lineup, right? Ultimately they got the lineup. Um they got the lineup, right? They got the more consistent pitcher, right? Walker Bueller and Mike King and Herman Marquez made it out of Colorado, right? My boy done made it out, bro. They done changed his whole life. Bro, that Jose Altuve picture, I don't give a fuck. It is hilarious. Picture is hilarious. Fucking hilarious picture, right? Yeah, I like the Padres winning this game, right? Playoff team out of the Padres. We'll see, right? We'll see. It's pretty top heavy in this NL, right? Pretty top heavy in this NL, right? Especially in the NL West, right? So ultimately, we'll see. But yeah, ultimately, we'll see Saturday night, right? We'll see Saturday night. Thursday night. We'll see Thursday night. Or actually, no, Thursday afternoon. We'll see Thursday afternoon, man. We'll see Thursday afternoon. We'll see Thursday afternoon. Yeah. Oh, but that game is actually going to be on the MLB network as well. So there's a potential we watch that. There's a potential we watch that and we give a play-by-play. There's potential we give a play-by-play there. I don't want to guarantee it, but potentially we do give a play-by-play on the game. But I like the Padres, right? I do like the Padres. Well, we're going to be throwing all these in a parlay. We're going to be throwing all these in a parlay. Obviously, Yankee one is going to be in a separate one, but throwing the rest of these in a parlay, burped out in the public, right? These next two little 3:15 games, right? These next two games are liberal. We have, speaking of liberal, we have the Texas Rangers going against the let's say Pittsburgh, the Phillies, right? The Philadelphia Phillies, Eovaldi and Christopher Sanchez going toe to toe, right? We'll start with the non-liberal team, right? We're starting with the Phillies, right? So the Phillies, this past offseason, they spent it getting older, right? They got older ultimately, right? And they got it's also going to be a little bit of a revenge game, right? Because they did get Odalis Garcia, right? I do expect him to be playing, right? They got Odalis Garcia. They still got JT Realmuto. They still got Brandon Mars. They still got Alec Baum. They still got Bryce Harper. Still got Schwartz, right? Trey Turner, right? Pretty solid, right? Pretty solid team, right? However, they're old, right? They're old. They're old. It was the problem last year that they were old, right? What did they do this year, right? They got older, right? It's pretty much all they changed, right? They got older, and they got a DH who disguises himself as a fielder, right? At least Jordan, at least Jordan is a DH, right? He just plays in the field sometimes for fun, right? Odalis Garcia, fielder, right? Stop trying to make it happen. Right, the Phillies got two Chubsters on the lineup. They got two Chubs. They got two Chubs in the lineup, right? Phillies rotation, it's pretty similar to last year, right? Big, the big void, of course, is that they do not have Ranger like they do last year, right? Ranger was a very good piece for them, and very consistent. Got to see Ranger last year against the Braves. Ended up winning the game, right? It was Ranger versus Strider. It was cinema. Well, a little bit of a pitcher's duel, right? But cinema, right? Cinema. It was a pretty good game, though. It was a pretty good game. I was pretty psyched for it. Yeah. The lineup just got older, right? Lineup just got older. Do I see them as a playoff team? I don't. I really don't. Right? Maybe they can compete. They can compete for a playoff spot, right? I just don't see them making the playoffs, right? I just do not see them making the playoffs. I don't know how many times do we have to teach you this lesson, old man? How I be feeling about these Phillies, right? Once we get to them later on, I can talk about how I do feel better about the Marlins, right? The Marlins. Right, and then the Rangers. Let me get to the Rangers. Passed on, right? Fuck the Rangers, right? Bitch ass Rangers, right? Fuck these guys, right? Fuck these. Team full of little pussies, right? Right, so the Rangers, right? Still got White Langford, still got Corey Seager, still got Jake Berger, right? Still got Jock Peterson, Jock Jung, right? Still got that team of terrorists, right? They added Brandon Nimmo. Still got Evan Carter. Fucking Evan Carter, right? They made the moves for Mackenzie Gore, right? I'm a little sucker for this Rangers team too. Little bit on the soft spot for the Rangers team, right? Fuck Eovaldi, right? Fuck Eovaldi, right? Mackenzie Gore was a great grab from the Nats. I'm a softy for DeGrom. I'm a softy for Jack Leiter. I'm a softy for Kumar Rocker, right? I'm a softy for Kumar Rocker and Jack Leiter, right? I love that Vandy team, right? I love that Vandy team with them two was them two on the them two as a 1-2 duo, right? The big question mark being in that rotation is Kumar Rocker to see if he can make the big step, right? Because Jack Leiter was decent last year. He wasn't too bad, right? He wasn't too bad last year, but my man's Kumar Rocker was the shits. he was these shits to say the least. So I'm hoping, because I am a huge Kumar. I'm a little bit more of a Kumar Rocker fan than I am a Jack Leiter fan. But yeah, really hoping that Kumar Rocker makes the next step this year, right? Well, not really, but kind of am. As far as this game goes, Sanchez, Eovaldi, right? I do like the Phillies this game. I do like the Phillies. They got to win some of these early. Actually, this is gonna be a good game. I'll just say that it's gonna be a good game, right? It's gonna be a good game, right? I can't see the Phillies winning. I wouldn't be surprised. Is there Can I look at the odds for this game? Uh, So Rangers are underdogs. Yeah, Rangers are underdogs, right? I mean, I don't really like Nathan Eovaldi, right? I don't really like him as a starter, right? I don't really like him as a starter. I know he had a really good season, right? A career season last year, right? I just didn't like his work for the Red Sox, right? Just didn't like his shit for the Red Sox. But I mean, let's see if we can replicate it, right? If we can replicate it again, I mean, it'll be big, right? It'll be big. It'll be big, right? Because DeGrom was still DeGrom last year, right? He was healthy, right? And Mackenzie Gore was really good pitcher, right? That's a really good ad for them. Do I see them make the playoffs? Not really, but I mean, but they have a chance, right? They have a chance, right? The lineup got worse than last year, right? It did get a little bit worse than last year, right? Simeon and Odalis, right? Let's give it a buck. They were big parts of the team, right? But yeah, right. Not yeah, nah, yeah, nah. Um, but for that game tomorrow, yeah, damn. I can't even tell you who I think is gonna win, honestly, because it could be either one. It could be either guy. It could be either team, right? Next we're going with the Tampa Bay Rays and the last one for the 3 o'clock slate, right? We're going with the Tampa Bay Rays and the St. Louis Cardinals, right? Tampa Bay Rays. Let's look at the Rays first, right? So the Rays, well, shit. Well, shit. Here we are looking at the fucking Rays, right? Here we are looking at the Tampa Bay Rays, right? So the Tampa Bay Rays, right? They got hit with a nuke, right? Pobrecitos, right? Pobrecitos. Lineup took a little bit of a hit, but they still got a lot of their core guys, right? Yandy Diaz, right? Jonathan Aranda, Junior Caminero. They added Cedric Mullins, right? Still have Chandler Simpson, right? Huge part of last year's success, right? Hopefully, well, was successful last year, right? Hopefully, he can add to the add to what he was doing last year, right? And then I mean, their rotation's nasty, right? McClanahan and Rousman, right? Still pretty nasty, right? They'll get back. They'll get back. They'll get back. Pepiot. Yeah. So yeah, they'll get back Pepiot soon, right? Obviously, there's a sore thumb that sticks out in this in that AL East division, right? Hopefully, they can survive. All right, hopefully they can survive, and by I mean, by survive. I'm thinking they're going to be in the bottom 5 of this division. Honestly, I'm thinking they're going to be in the bottom 5 of this division, right? Yeah, just not a good offseason for this team, right? Not a good offseason for this team. But the team is pretty young, though. The team's pretty young, though. So, right. Imagine this team with Wander Franco. Imagine this team with Wander Franco, man. This. That was cheap. That was pretty cheap. All right. So now, now we're gonna go into these St. Louis Cardinals. Right now, we're gonna go into these St. Louis Cardinals. That was very brief about the Tampa Bay Rays, right? Story of their franchise, right? Very brief. I'm looking at the time right now. I'm looking at the time and how long it's taking me to go over these teams, right? I'm thinking this is just gonna be I'm thinking this is gonna be an MLB team. And we'll talk about MMA. So I'm editing the description too and all that shit. Editing the description, all that shit too. Damn, I'm just realizing I'm peeping it right now. I can't even do my outro. So yeah, look at these Cardinals, right? Cardinals. Man, oh man, man, right? They got Lars Newbar starting on the IR, right? It's a pretty young team, also pretty young team, right? Weatherholt, Jordan Walker, Herrera, Gorman, right? Pretty young team. And yeah, this rotation doesn't get that much better, right? To me, this Cardinals team this year, I see them going toe to toe with the Rockies. I see them going toe to toe with the Rockies and the worst team in the I keep saying conference, right? Worst team in the NL, right? They're gonna be going toe to toe, right? I can definitely see them out sucking the Rockies, right? It's not something you want to do, right? Not the greatest of teams, not the greatest of lineups. However, they are young, so hopefully not this year, not next year, but the year after that, they'll start putting it all together. It's going to be Drew Rossman versus Matthew Liberatore. And yeah, I got the Rays, right? Enough said. I got the Rays. Cardinals home game, right? I got the Rays. Enough said. And now we're going with the second nationally televised game. Well, not nationally. Oh yeah, nationally televised game. It is on NBC. We got the D-backs and the Dodgers, right? We got D-backs and the Dodgers, right? Let's go with the D-backs first, right? It is a Zach Gallen versus Yamamoto game, right? So that's gonna be fun, right? It's gonna be Ketel Marte, right? Perdomo, Nolan Arenado's on this team. Carlos Santana. You got Carlos Santana, old ass on this team, right? I mean, it's pretty. I'm seeing a lot of people say that Corbin Carroll is going to be ready for opening day. If he is, that's a huge plus, right? Corbin Carroll on opening day, right? That is a huge plus. However, are they good enough to go against Goliath? Right? Are they good enough to go against Goliath? This will be interesting. This, I mean, if Corbin Carroll's playing opening day, right? This is gonna be, it's gonna make shit interesting, right? Keeping it honest, right? It's gonna make shit very, very interesting, right? Um, and they're gonna be one of those teams that's gonna be competing, right? We got 4 teams in this division that are gonna be seriously competing for a playoff spot, right? We got the Padres, the Giants, the D-backs, and the Dodgers, right? They both, all 4 of them have some. They got some squads. Ultimately, they got some squads. All 4 of them. Dog, don't get Gatorade hydration. Do not get Gatorade hydration. That shit. Do not get Gatorade hydration. That's, man. PSA: don't get Gatorade hydration. If you're looking for a packet, right? Just get just get the Propel, right? Just get the Propel. Just get the Gatorade Zeros, right? Just get um at least like Walmart and HEB. Like if you're just going to those places, right? Just get those, man. Just get those, man. I just looked at my water bottle and I just sighed, man. I just sighed. I was like, man, this is what we got. This is what we got going right. This is what we got going on right now, right? Yeah, so let's talk about the Dodgers, right? Let's talk about these Dodgers, right? The Dodgers, right? They gave Kyle Tucker 60 million a year, right? It's a lot of money, right? That's a lot of moolah, right? That's a lot of moolah, right? A lot of their key guys, right? Shohei Ohtani, Kyle Tucker, Mookie Betts, Freddie Freeman, Will Smith, Teoscar Hernandez, Max Muncy still on the team, right? Andy Pages, and Mr. Allegations, Miggy Rojas. So not allegations, but Mr. False Allegations, Miggy Rojas, right? Um, I mean, I really don't need to go. I really don't need to go over this team a whole lot, right? Yoshinobu Yamamoto, right? Tyler Glass now, fucking Shohei on the rotation, right? Brokai had a fucking immaculate, right? Fucking game changing spring training, right? So I mean, they're plus 210 to win the World Series for a reason, right? Good lineup, good rotation, good bullpen, right? Um, yeah, fuck this team. Fuck this team. Um, Ultimately, I got the Monstars winning. I got the Monstars beating the D-backs, the Dodgers making the playoffs. It ultimately just comes down to what seed, right? What seed they get. Do they get the first seed or are they getting the second seed, right? The D-backs, I do like them competing for a playoff spot, though. I do like them competing for a playoff spot. I do like them making damage, right? They're gonna get back Corbin Burns, right, and Merrill Kelly at some point, right? Merrill Kelly at some point. Corbin Burnsy's a little bit further down the road, right? Um, yeah, the rotation is gonna be nasty once they get like completely nasty once they get those 2 back, and yeah, I mean a lot of things are going to be clicking for the D-backs once All-Star break starts coming around, and hopefully they can start competing with a lot of these teams. So after that, we got about 4 games. We got 4 more games to go on about. Right, the last game for opening day, right, is You got the Guardians and the Mariners, right? Guardians and Mariners at Seattle, right? This is going to be a Tanner Bibby, Logan Gilbert matchup, right? The Guardians. The Guardians. I mean, they made some noise last year, right? They made some noise last year. Um, I mean, they have ultimately it's still going to be a really good team, right? It's still going to be solid. It's still going to be a really solid team out of the Guardians, right? They still got Stephen Kwan, right? Excuse me. They still got Stephen Kwan, right? Still got Bo Naylor. Um, still got Angel Martinez, right? They added Reese Hoskins, right? And then they got Big Bad. They got Big Bad Jose Ramirez, right? Big Bad Jose Ramirez. And yeah, and apparently Stephen Kwan is apparently Stephen Kwan is going to be a center fielder now. That's going to be big, right? That's going to be big for them. See how that works out, right? The rotation, however, the rotation's a little bit chopped, right? A little bit chopped rotation, right? Lost a couple guys. It is what it is, right? It is what it is. Yeah, nah, their rotation ultimately is what's going to hold them back a little bit, right? It's why I wouldn't call them a playoff team, right? But they are a really good team, and I do think that they're going to be kind of like the Reds of the AL, right? They're going to be the Reds of the AL, right? Like if like nothing on, right? Um, I'd either put on a Guardians game or I'd either put on the A's game, right? One of those two, right, from the AL. Both going to be very exciting teams, right? And yeah, I'm just disappointed in the Guardians. I'm disappointed in the Guardians, not because of their rotation, but other things beyond baseball. Um, obvious what my stance is right there, right? And so then we got the terrorists, right? Terrorist group, the Seattle Mariners, right? The Mariners, right, sporting their usual lineup of Cal Raleigh, J Rod, Naylor, Randy. They got JP Crawford. Adding Brendan Donovan. Still have Victor Robles, right? Other rotation still nasty, right? Kirby, Wu, Bryce Miller, Logan Gilbert, right? Still nasty rotation, right? Um, rotations one of the best rotations in baseball. The Mariners, right? I do like the Mariners make the playoffs, right? I do like the Mariners make the playoffs. Um, I do like them being competitive too. Do I see them as like my favorite to make it out the AL? Not necessarily, right? They were close, right? They're one game away, right? They were one game away this past year, but I mean, I don't see them making it back there. I don't see them making the ALCS, right? That's just my take. I think they're a playoff team. I don't see them going that far though. I don't see them going that far. However, but for opening night, I do like the Mariners putting that BTA on Tanner Bibby and the Guardians, right? I do like them putting on that BTA, right? What do we? Oh yeah, hold on. Bro, I'm like sweating. Like we got meat sweats. We got meat sweats, bro. That was like probably the longest piss of my life, right? I felt like that was close, but shit, I was wrong. I was wrong. I was fucking wrong. Speaking of fun ass games to watch, I'm glad this fucking game is gonna be on MLB Network. We have the A's and the. I'm not gonna be watching, however, because the M's gonna be playing and yeah, M's gonna be playing during that time. We got the A's and the Blue Jays, right? Two very fun teams, right? If you're not watching March Madness, right, I would be watching this game for sure. I would for sure be watching this game, right? Man, I would for sure be watching this game if you're not watching basketball. Um, right. So the A's, right? The A's had themselves a pretty good season this past year, right? They got a bunch of good young players, right? They got Nick Kurtz, Jacob Wilson, Brent Rooker, Lawrence Butler, Max Muncy, right? They got all these fun young players, right? They got some old heads, right? Jeff McNeil and Langoliers. Right, and ultimately the problem with his A's roster is going to be this A's lineup. I don't know, this A's rotation. My bad, this A's rotation is going to be an issue, right? They got Luis Severino. Yeah, Luis Severino going against a the fuck. Wait, I'm still live, right? Yeah, Luis Severino going against a Kevin Gosman. Gosman had himself a pretty decent season last year, but Severino had him also a pretty decent season, right? Gosman, whoa, bro, I be forgetting. Don't pick up my hat, bro. I be forgetting. Don't pick up my fucking hat. Right. Ultimately, do I see the A's making a playoff spot? Fuck no. Right. Are they gonna be a fun team to watch? Right. Hell fucking yeah, right? They got Nick Kurtz, Ben Rooker, Jacob Wilson, and Lawrence Butler and Max Muncy, right? They got a whole bunch of young fucking good players though. So I'm thinking next year. I'm thinking next year they could be some serious, right? I'm thinking next year they could be some serious, right? Maybe they get themselves like a pitcher or two, right? Just a pitcher or two, right? Or a or somebody from the farm system comes up and makes a difference, right? Ultimately, something like that's gonna have to happen for this A's team to be competitive in the near future because they got some hitters, right? They got hitters. They got hitters on this A's team, man. They got some heavy hitters too, right? They got some heavy hitters, right? I'm excited for the A's in the future, right? Just not now, right? Just not now. Just not now yet. Um, And then so, however, they are going against the Toronto Blue Jays, right? Team that made it out of the AL this past season, right? They still have George Springer, Dalton Varsho, Vladimir Guerrero, Alejandro Kirk, Ernie Clement, Andres Jimenez, um, while adding Jesus Sanchez, right? Um, right. So, yeah. And then their lineup, right? Dylan Cease, Kevin Gosman, Eric Lyer, and Max Scherzer, old ass still on the roster, right? Uh right, yeah. So I like more MMA news. That's why they got hella MMA news going on while I'm streaming. Fuck, and this is not an MMA stream. Fuck. Yeah. So we got the Blue Jays. I do like the Blue Jays beating the Luis Severino A's, right? However, are they going to make a playoff spot? I mean, we'll see. We'll see what this rotation look like, right? We'll see. Ultimately, we'll see what this rotation is going to look like, or how they perform. At least is what I say. How they perform, how good they are. Yeah, that's ultimately gonna determine what they do and what they can't do. Because their lineup is nasty, right? They have the lineup to make the playoff. They have the lineup to make a push in the playoffs still, right? Even losing Bo Bichette, right? They still have the lineup to push for a playoff spot, right? Hoping to need that I would need these, but I don't think I would actually. I don't think I will be. Yeah, it's too early for me to say if the Blue Jays are going to be a playoff team or not. It's just there's a lot of injuries on that rotation, and I'd like to see a little bit more arms, a little bit more proven arms on that rotation, right? At least on the playoff, at least on my playoff teams, right? At least on my playoff teams, right? We're gonna say that game for last. Next up, we got so second to last game, we got the Kansas City Royals going against the Atlanta Braves. We're gonna go look at the Royals first. We're gonna be looking at the Royals first. Now, the Royals have been one of my favorite teams to bet on since last year, right? A lot of the same guys on their roster, right? Michael Garcia, Bobby Witt, Vinny Pasquantino, Salvi Perez, Jonathan India. They got Starling Marte now, and then their lineup's pretty identical from last year too. Reagans, Waka, Lugo, and Bubik. Not a whole lot changed for this team. Not a whole lot changed, right? They were a pretty good team last year, right? I think they're pretty good. I think they'll be a pretty good team this year too, right? Ultimately, there's going to be a whole lot to keep up. I mean, it's gonna be a whole lot of competing between them Royals and them Tigers, right? And the loser of that is gonna have a very hard time with a wild card spot because of how good the East is, right? The East is just like just five monsters just going at it with each other, right? But I like them as a playoff team, right? I like them as a playoff team. Good rotation, pretty good lineup, right? As long as they stay healthy, right? As long as Bobby Witt stays healthy, right? I think they're gonna do some work, right? I think they're gonna do some damage, right? I didn't say the matchup, right? It's gonna be Cole Reagans versus Chris Sale. Yeah, Chris Sale's a dog, right? Chris Sale's a fucking dog. Let's take a look at these Atlanta Braves. Still got Acuna, still got Matt Olson, still got Austin Riley. Dubon is now on the team, right? Still got Michael Harris. They got Ozzy Albies back, right? They got Ozzy Albies back. Right, they still got Ozzy Albies back, right? They also made a move for Mike Yass, right? Mike Yass. Pretty tough last name to say, so I just call him Mike Yass. But the rotation though, Strider's hurt. Both Spencers are hurt, right? Waldrep is hurt, right? So Chris Sale is like pulling some heavy weight for this roster, right? It's gonna be a pretty good. Ultimately, it's gonna be a pretty good game, right? Ultimately, that's gonna be a pretty good game, right? Between the Royals and the Braves, right? Who would I think is gonna win that game? I like the Royals. Right, I like the Royals. Right, just really good team. Right, really good team. The Braves had a little bit of trouble with consistency. Right, everybody's healthy, which is a pretty good start. Well, at least everybody in their lineup's healthy, right? It's a pretty good start for them, right? And for opening day, as far as an opening day win, right? Everybody's healthy. It's just tough. It's tough because of like that rotation. That rotation. It's literally Chris Sale and like shit. I mean, ultimately, we gonna see Saturday night. We gonna see Saturday. We gonna see Friday night. Well, no, we won't see Friday night. We'll see. That's definitely we'll see Saturday night. But yeah, I mean, it's tough because now I feel like we're gonna get into the part of Ronald Acuna's career, right, where the Braves are gonna start Mike Trouting him. Right, they're gonna start Mike Trouting him. He's gonna be putting up these badass numbers, right? He's gonna be putting these badass empty stats, but no play. He's it's not a playoff team, right? It's just not a playoff team, right? Can they compete? Maybe they can compete, right? But that lineup is just it's bad. Like it's I don't know that rotation. It's bad, right? The rotation's bad. It's a bad rotation, right? It's a bad rotation. It's hard. It's hard. It's hard to say, right? It's hard to say, right, on opening day because they do got Chris Sale pitching, right? But if Chris Sale has a bad season, is having a bad season, Atlanta's in for a fucking rocky one. Starting the puns a little bit, right? They're in for a little bit of a rocky one, right? The Royals, I do see them as a playoff team. The Braves, however, no. Atlanta can have shit. Atlanta cannot have shit. They can't have shit. And then so that brings me into the final game, right? The final game of the opening day, right? The final day of at least like every team's opening day, right? We got a barn burner, right? We got a barn burner, right? Absolute fucking day, absolute verse, like Goliath versus Goliath right here, right? Two killers going toe to toe with each other, right? They've been going toe to toe with each other these past couple of years, right? This year, huge stand, right? Huge opening day stand for both teams, right? We got the motherfucking Colorado Rockies going against these motherfucking Miami Marlins, right? You know what? I guess we'll start with the Marlins first, right? I guess we'll start with the Marlins first, right? So the Marlins, right? So the Marlins, I've been very high on, right? And it's more so, right? Like they got some really good young players, right? They got some really good young players. But I've been really liking this rotation. I'm sorry, right? I've been really liking this rotation, right? I've loved Sandy Alcantara, right? I've been loving Sandy Alcantara, right? I've been loving what he's been doing these last couple of years, right? Great baseball, right? He had a bad season of 2020. He had a bad 2024, right? Came back, had a pretty decent season this past year. We'll see. We'll see if he can go back to his Cy Young contender, right? Go back to being Cy Young contender, right? Yuri Perez, I'm very high on Yuri Perez, right? Incredibly high on Yuri Perez. Love his shit, love his stuff, right? Throws good stuff. Was getting blown up a little bit last year, right? Was getting blown up a little bit last year, but he's going to be healthy to start this year. So hopefully he's able to have a more consistent. He's out a more consistent year coming in, right? A little bit more of a consistent year coming in, right? Max Meyer, love this guy too. Jansen Junk, I'm a sucker for Jansen Junk. Um, to me, Jansen Junk impressed me last season, right? Apparently, he was kind of like on the fence of making the opening rotation, right? But to me, it's a no brainer, right? I love Jansen Junk's shit, right? They will be starting the year without Kyle Stowers, right? That's the big man on campus, right, for the Marlins. However, they're still gonna have Jacob Marcy, Augustine Ramirez, right? Xavier Edwards, Morel. They got a lot of young guys, right? It's a pretty young team, right? Do I think they're gonna make the playoffs? However, do I think they're gonna make the playoffs? It's gonna really depend on what Kyle Stowers is about to do, right? It's gonna really depend on what Kyle Stowers is about to do. I'm placing a lot. That's a lot of it's a lot of pressure on Kyle Stowers, right? It's a lot of pressure on Kyle Stowers, but ultimately, I don't think it's gonna be this year. I don't think it's gonna be this year that they make the playoffs, right? I do think this is going to be another year where they contend and they get very close to a playoff spot. However, I'm just not thinking anything of it, right? At least this year, I'm not thinking anything of it. And then, and fucking then, right? We have the fucking God Squad right here. We have the fucking the God Squad, whatever you want to call it, right? We got the motherfucking Colorado Rockies, right? So the Rockies, right, going toe to toe with they're gonna be going band for band with yeah, they're gonna be going band to band with you can obviously hear me like pressing my shit and all that shit, right? Yeah, so they're gonna be going band to band with like the Twins, right? They're gonna be going band to band with the Twins. They're gonna be going band to band with your, you know what I'm saying, your fucking Nats and shit, right? Your Pirates, right? You know, per usual, right? The fucking Rockies, right? Like, it's not a good team, right? The Angels, right? Yeah, not a good team, right? Not a good team, right? Not a good one. They added Michael Lorenzen, right? Added Michael Lorenzen. He had a pretty good WBC, right? But he's a pitcher in Coors, right? He's a pitcher in Coors Fields. Good fucking luck, right? I fucking dare you to have a 2 ERA season, right? Or somewhere around 2, right? I fucking dare you, right? Um and yeah, their lineup, right? Man, what can I say about their lineup, right? What can I say about their lineup? Well, I mean, for starters, I mean, their lineup pretty